Can you explain the details of alimony and child support during a divorce? This is from earlier this year in 2024. So alimony, you're divorcing your wife and then you have to pay her money after you're divorced. Beyond her idda, like way beyond. Basically for years you continue to pay for your wife. Is this something allowed in Islam? No. It's very simple answer. But let's see what he says.
Please discuss the matter of alimony and child support when it comes to divorce. Okay, well, child support is very simple. The husband is expected to provide for the child. Obviously, the children will be living with the mother, so those costs are theirs because she's paying for her own overheads. But food, clothing, and these sorts of things. For the child, husband is supposed to provide for that. A lot of the times, what we see is my general advice for people tried with this. For brothers and sisters is don't listen to your family. Don't listen to your immediate family if they're not giving you sound advice. A lot of the times it's a case of the lady's family or the husband's family are upset, and naturally that's understandable. But regardless of being upset, they give bad advice. So in many cases the husband told, well, yeah, don't give her any money for the kids, and the husband's then sinful.
Yeah, so that's correct. You're sinful if you don't give child support. The question of the custody of the child, that's separate. He's not addressing that. In terms of the husband, the father has to support his children, of course, and that is even after divorce. Even if the children are living with her, he's still responsible for that. So that is correct.
And it's blameworthy. Being married to someone has got nothing to do with his obligation to provide for his own children, right? As best he can. And once again, if you go look at Surah Al-Talaq, لِيُنْفِقْ ذُو سَعَةٍ مِّن سَعَتِهِ, whoever has a vast amount of wealth, he should spend from that vast amount of wealth on his children. Although technically it is about children, but it's about the lady who, the wet nurse, or if the mother breastfeeds the children, right? وَمَنْ قُدِرَ عَلَيْهِ رِزْقُهُ فَلْيُنْفِقْ مِمَّا آتَاهُ اللَّهُ. And whoever's provision, the risk that Allah gives him is constrained, then let him spend from that which Allah has given him. فَلْيُنْفِقْ مِمَّا آتَاهُ اللَّهُ. So that's a serious matter. So the husband, let's say the father is expected to pay and support the children. A lot of the times family members advise, no, don't. And then in retaliation, on the other side, the lady's family, what they will say is they will advise her to not let the husband see his children, or the ex-husband or the father see his children. Both sides don't do any favors to the children, right? One, on the father side, if you stop supporting them, they go through difficulty, their mother goes through difficulty, you're not doing anyone a favor. And then on the other side, where either the children are poisoned against the parent, the father, and they don't want to see him, it breaks his heart. So it really is a test of your taqwa. So anyone can fast and get up and pray in the night and pray to Hajj or whatever. But it's times like this, scenarios like this that really test your mettle. What kind of person are you? Is it just a claim of yes, I do what God says, or is it actually done? And someone that can go through a divorce and still stay straight with Allah and not wrong the other party, that's a big thing, right?
That's good. So he said he acknowledged at least the issue of, well, there's another side to it. Some of these ex-wives, they prevent their ex-husbands from seeing their own children, and he said this is not right. This is something bad as well. So this is a good response, good answer so far.
So with this, address the fact that women using the Western court to take half the husband's wealth and property is allowed. Now, this is a very sensitive matter, and fiqh is about nuance.
So then he continues reading the question, and it's like, what about the wife taking half of the property in the divorce? So then this is sensitive. But the Islamic answer is very clear. Like, it's no, she's not entitled to half of his wealth.
And Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. So you have a spectrum of scenarios. So I can't just give a clear ruling, like a black and white ruling. There are some situations where, let me give you a scenario. There's a husband and wife, and the husband, they've been married for 30 years, 40 years, and the husband divorces her, and the wife hasn't worked in all this time, and it's difficult for her to get a job, for example, and then if he divorces her and she doesn't have anything and she's got no source of income, whatever, and then for her to be left with nothing in this scenario, it's going to be very difficult for her. So what does Allah call us to? Allah does not, if you look at, you should not base your life on the marriage and divorce chapters of a fiqh book. That's always based on the worst case scenario, right? So Allah calls us to ihsan. Allah calls us to excellence. So in this situation, is the husband legally obliged to provide for her? But you could argue no, right? And
you could argue
you find
no.
these answers in the books of law.
You can argue no. The answer is no. The answer is no. He's not responsible. Why is he trying to minimize it? The answer is no. He's not responsible. That's all there is to, like, that's the answer to the question.
Ihsan, you want to be good to this person? You may not even want to be good to her. What does Allah want you to do? What will put you in the best situation, best standing before Him on the Day of Judgment? وَلَا تَنْسَوُا الْفَضْلَ بَيْنَكُمْ. And don't forget this. Keep it in the mic. Don't forget this mutual generosity between yourselves. So
yeah, my mutual generosity is encourage her. Well, be someone's second wife. Go be someone's second wife, and have him care for you. If you can't be a first wife, be a second wife. He's going to spend on you and take care of you. Go ahead. We've been married for 30 years. Like, imagine. May Allah prevent this situation for any of the believers, but you want a divorce, okay, for whatever reason. My generosity towards you as a husband to the ex-wife is, well, you can get married again. I can get married again. You can get married again. And you should do that. Like, that is how you maintain like a pool of women who are ready to get married. They are incentivized to get married. If me as an ex-husband, I'm supporting her because it's ihsan, then she doesn't have any incentive to remarry. She has no incentive. She has no motivation to remarry and get a husband, or a husband to get her, whether as a first wife, second wife, or a third wife, whatever. So I am actually handicapping her to give her money beyond what her rights are. And again, why would I want to do that? It's a divorce. She can go back to her father. She can go back to her family, and she can get married again. Like that. Those are the options. There is no responsibility on me to keep supporting her after the divorce. So, but if you have a system or you have a mindset that women have to be coddled, like whatever women want, women should never have to be in a difficult situation. Women should never have to face any kind of tough choice. Women should never have to be. Then you'll say, oh yeah, the husband, he should, Thankfully, this imam, he didn't go to that extent and say something crazy or ridiculous like, yeah, he should, he must support her. Some scholars are saying that, like Yasser Qadi. We reacted to him and Hatem al-Hajj talking about alimony and restructuring divorce law so that you're forcing the husband to pay after the divorce. This imam, I don't know him, but alhamdulillah, he didn't say anything crazy like that. But he's still like giving this kind of wishy-washy answer about ihsan without thinking of the broader consequences. You have so many Muslim men and women who are complaining about, oh, we can't find husbands, we can't find wives, we can't find this, and we can't find that. Well, part of what's causing the marriage crisis is that you're just coddling women. Like, you're not giving women the motivation or the incentive to get married. You have to give them that incentive. Otherwise, they would prefer not to. They're just going to sit around and wait for Chad. But these dynamics are lost upon some of these imams. And so they give these wishy-washy answers.
So in this situation, I would say actually help her out. Give some, help her put in a situation where she's not, after a long.
Help her out, just pay for her rent. Pay for her car payments, her medical, pay for, that's going to run you thousands of dollars a month. Like, if you have that much money. So anyway, if you've been married 30 or 40 years, hopefully you have children, you've had 4, 5, 6 children, if Allah has blessed you, and then your children can also take care of you. Your sons are going to be older, working, they can take care of you. They can support you if you don't have male family members and you don't want to remarry. So many options, mashallah.